I am Shakira Tokewale. Is that better? I help people build success without losing themselves. And that comes from my own story about burnouts. So I love to succeed in life. And growing up, I didn't come from a rich family. So what I have understood is that you had to struggle before you become successful. That was the perspective that I grew up with. And then growing up, I started to define success to mean that you have to work and work and work hard till I burnt out. And it was the burnout that was the game changer to how I began to see what success looks like. And for me today, I would say success is the closest you can be to being authentic, to loving and accepting yourself for who you are, and to not wanting to fit into cultural norms or family values or societal expectations of how people want you to be, or just the way you think you should be. From my burnout story, I then decided to look inwards and stop checking what looks like what other people are doing, comparison or stories of people around me, but really about who am I and what do I want and how do I want to impact humanity. And since finding my own voice, realizing that the truest being is when you have accepted yourself for who you are and showing up that way, I started to help other people do the same thing. A story of how I have given to women or a girl child, as that said, I've given to more than one person. So I'm not going to use one person in particular, but I do have a platform where I share mental health story and personal growth insights to just not women. I believe so much in equality. And that's because the way we are as an adult, whether as women or even men, is being shaped from how we were in childhood. And there's no way talking about women today without looking at men. We didn't come out from just one gender. And yesterday when I was making a post about International Women's Day, I said, Happy International Women's Day to all women out there, and to all men who have one woman or more women in their circle. Because there is no man without any woman. Therefore, I always believe in holisticism and unity. And I believe again that you cannot give what you don't have. How do we come and seclude ourselves and talk to women? What about the men? I'm a level 4 training counselor, and in a bit of months I'm going to be graduating, becoming a therapist, which means I could not stereotype people and say, these are women, we should focus, and ignore the men. And if you look at it today, suicide is common amongst men. Why? They don't speak up. And the attention is not much more on them because of the conditions of what men should not cry, or men should not speak up. I know I'm diverting to women, but I couldn't talk about women without focusing on the men in the room and to the men in general. So a situation where I have given to women is, I would say in my community, I do have a free community where I support people with mental health and personal growth insight, like I said. And in that community, all we do is believing in ourselves and living our own personal life. That is one way that I keep giving to people, not just women. Finally, I've also been able to gain from the way that I give. I stand here today from the way that I have been giving. I remember 4 years ago, I met Dr. Locke. And I can't remember really how I met her, but I met Dr. Locke. I like what you're doing. I like that, you're someone of another color, but you've seen yourself not just as a minor. You've seen yourself that you bring so much purpose and so much power into the room. And I would love to support you. And with that conversation, I've had different business workshops supporting people with Diversity Hub. From there, I've also had the opportunity to also help other people build their own platforms and their own events. And it just continues like that. Again, I would want us to look at why is the reason people would not want to give to gain. And that I call that blocks to giving. So I want us to take a moment, because it's easier to say, do this and do that. But what I like to look at with people is, why can't we do that thing? So what makes it difficult for us to give? First of all, ignorance of what to give and how to give. Some people don't know what to give. And I want to remind you today that the moment you define you can impact people. And from that definition, the clarity comes of what to give. Again, another thing that could be a block to giving is your mindset. The mindset that, oh, I'm not made yet. You don't have to be made to give. You do have a value. Build that value. Nurture that value. And you will start to give. And again, not giving to gain, because I see the theme of this event for this year. I don't totally agree with it. The reason is I don't give to gain. I give because it feels right. And the universe has already set the base that you give, you will get. Because what if you give and you're not getting with the expectation I want to receive? That can be frustrating and can burn your heart. So just give because it feels right. Thank you.